Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's Grain Market Blast with myself and the amazing Angie. There she is. Let me add you in. 1 second. Oh, why has that not worked? One sec. Let me try again. Invite to co-host. Send co-host invite. Done. Whilst Angie is joining, let me read out the legals. So, as usual, nothing discussed on this space session constitute trading or investment advice or infers any kind of endorsement by POQ Global Limited, traders POQ or POQ Suite, and that includes the hosts and the affiliates. And obviously, as you know by now, the hosts, are the amazing Angie Setzer, way, and myself, the equally awesome Ryan Paisley, way.
Woohoo! Look at you. I would call that personal growth, that you can call
Right? Do
yourself
you know what?
equally awesome.
Do you know what? I'm so glad you picked up on that because normally I'm like, yeah, and me. But
Right?
yeah, I'm
I
trying. I'm
know.
trying.
I'm so
It's your.
I'm
You're proud, aren't
impressed.
you? You're proud
I
of me.
am. I am. That's been my goal all along. Like I'm gonna be like Ryan's gonna see how cool he is. Eventually. That's just the goal. That's the goal.
It,
So
it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm in the pub.
right. We always feel a little bit better about ourselves, I think, in that case. So
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like, it's an hour delay, and maybe we should have just delayed the whole day because at the rate we're going, market wise this morning, it's not that exciting. I've tapped the screen a couple times, like corn's down 6, beans are down
Hello,
15.
Bueller.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Are we still open? Like now I might need to refresh again here for a minute, and maybe we're not. But yeah, so it's a slow day. Giving back a little bit of what we had seen from a gain standpoint here yesterday. Corn was up big, traded up to the highest level we'd seen since late last May. So for a lot of my growers, like yesterday, I had a contract just to kind of tell you the difference in market price for farmers right now. Like we'd had a contract for a grower that we just booked basis. We just booked the difference between the futures and cash to make sure that he'd have a place to deliver in February for cash flow, blah, blah, blah. I was bullish futures, of course, but at the time we would have delivered it, it had been in the mid threes. I think we were looking at or mid upper threes, 385 cash or something like that. Yesterday he was able to get that priced out at 470. So definitely been a shift. Definitely saw the market move to the high side, and so to see us kind of set back a little bit today, not overly surprising. Biggest focus obviously is going to be the same stuff we've been talking about. We've got trade, and we still have that looming threat, right? Saturday is Mexico, Canada, maybe China. It
Dum
does.
dum dum.
That's what you're waiting. I mean, like, stay tuned. Wait, there's more or whatever, So here we sit. That is our 500-pound gorilla in the room. And then, of course, we have seen some more conversation about the large yields. So South American weather is still concerning. Argentina is still a hot spot, unfortunately, with some continued dryness, and we're just not seeing the rain roll forward. So we've had rain in the 8 to 14 day forecast for Argentina here for 3 weeks now. And it just kind of sits out there and says, "I'm coming," and then it's just not planning on showing up. Or maybe it is eventually, but right now it's created a problem, but we have an ebb and flow. And so I feel like I'm kind of all over the place, but so is the market when it comes down to it. Like sentiment right now is okay, the Brazil crop is still big. It's just delayed to come off from a harvest standpoint. And then there's some uncertainty over what we're seeing in Argentina from a production standpoint. But to see us, like I said, to go up yesterday, we were up 12 in corn, up 16 in beans. Beans gave it all back here for a minute. We'll see what happens. Had really poor export sales this morning. Corn is about halfway, and then wheat is treading water. And so I'll stop there to kind of let you before we dig into wheat, because I feel like we focus so much on corn and soybeans, and there's some things moving around in wheat now that we have to pay attention to. So I'll stop for a minute. Okay.
Go for it.
All right. Rock and
No,
roll.
no, I'm all good. I'm all
So
good. Go for it.
yesterday, if you'd missed it, I had a conversation with Andre Siza from Sov Econ. He had reached out and said we should get together and have a chat, and so we did. And it was really interesting just to kind of hear some of the conversation or some of his thoughts when it comes to what is going on with Russia and what the outlook looks like for Russian wheat exports here as we work our way through the next 5-6 months. And so one of the problems that we've had, and obviously wheat has been really cheap. Wheat has been one of the markets that's just kind of continued to sit at contract lows when corn was taking off. Soybeans were doing soybean things, but wheat has just kind of been left. And partly because we don't have physical demand in the market structure currently that would push the market higher. The end users were relatively well covered going into the end of the year, the end of the calendar year. We had seen super aggressive starts to selling by Russia and some others. You know, wheat, especially when the cost of money is high and all of these other things, like you ship wheat when you can, you make room for corn and soybeans, and you get rid of your wheat after harvest, and in a lot of commercials areas, you know. And so we'd seen this big push of wheat. We'd seen a lot of end users covered, and now we work our way into the first part of the new year, and we're starting to recognize that Russia's supply and availability of bushels into the world pipeline here as we work into the end of the marketing year is about half of what it was a year ago. At this point in time, the Russian government reiterated that they're looking at, you know, 41 to 42 million metric tons of exports. That's about 5 million metric tons below, or a couple hundred million bushels below, where the USDA's current estimate sits. One of the things we saw this morning was a huge wheat sale. Like it's the second, you know, big chunk of wheat sales that we've seen here. We had wheat, I think it was up 96% from the 4-week average this morning. Now, of course, that includes the holiday. So don't, you know, all of a sudden think we're selling 77 million metric tons of wheat in a day or something like that. But we have seen a relatively decent surge, or at least what appears to be you know, a potential there to see the U.S. tap into the world wheat market a bit better than what we had. Remember, we are the reserve supplier of the world. And so that's a bad thing when the world has plentiful supplies. It is a good thing, at least for us in the US, when they don't. And so we're going to work our way into the world weather market as well in wheat. Say that 5 times fast. And so we're looking at India first. India tends to be one of the first ones that we look to see what we're looking at from a production standpoint. And just this morning, Reuters put out that we have to be careful. Their weather group is expecting an increase in temperatures here February into March. That's going to be critical. That's during their head fill period. And they've been really dry. So if India has a problem, we've talked about them for a while now. They've had problems 4 years in a row on production. Their domestic stocks are exceptionally tight. They're limiting what millers can hold, and they're trying to avoid imports. But if they run into another production issue this year, you're probably going to see India move over into more of a net importer, or you're just going to see some weird things happen in the world market outlook that we have to pay attention to. And so wheat has been kind of the one that no one's wanted to talk about for a while. Wheat gets to come into the weather market. We started this week with some talk of winter kill across the US. And if wheat can go, and we need to kind of see that wheat corn spread correct itself and a few of these other things. And so wheat's probably going to, I feel like I've said wheat 77,000 times, but it's going to have the attention, I think, of trade, or start to have the attention of trade, maybe even more so than corn and beans here, I believe, over the next couple,
You know
3 weeks.
what's going to
What?
happen now we've mentioned it today. You'll find out about it that Reuters and Bloomberg will start talking about it in 4 days' time, because that's just how it is. That's how good we are. That's how good you are.
I think but it'll be something to watch. It'll be something to, you know, to really, really pay attention to. And it's definitely going to be on the radar of a lot of folks. Now, I'm not going to say we don't have wheat available. You know, the Southern Hemisphere, we had Argentina's harvest, we had Australia's harvest, which both were really good. China's demand has been really lackluster as well. That's a big missing piece. But definitely pay attention to what's going on weather-wise across Russia. They have very limited snow cover, and, you know, are at risk for more winter kill if we were to see a drop in price in temperatures, excuse me. And then also watch India for their heat and their dryness. So I think that covers it. I mean, right now, market wise,
Awesome.
corn's down 6, beans are down 14. We'll let them think about what they've done for a while, I guess, and touch back in later. and wheat's trying. It's up a penny. Kansas City's up 3. So we'll
There you
see
go.
what happens today.
Awesome. Well, thank you as always so much, Angie. Absolute star. Listeners, as always, thank you for tuning in. And yeah, I hope we've added some value to your day. If you are trading today, keep it tight. If you are out in the fields or whatever you're doing, the farmers that are listening in, please look after yourselves, stay safe, and we'll catch you
We'll be
tomorrow.
back. It's Friday tomorrow. How the heck?
It's Friday. Is it
It
really?
is,
Oh
I
yeah, it
think.
is.
As
Oh my
soon as I said it, I'm like,
god.
wait, maybe it's not. I thought it was Friday
Yeah.
tomorrow on Tuesday.
For some reason, as soon as you said Friday, I was like, no, it's
No.
not. Okay, well,
You're
even better.
in
Even
the
better. Then
last
I
day
am.
of
I'm definitely going to
January.
the pub.
So that's it's January's lasted 7 months at this point. So
Yeah,
I'm
no,
ready for it to be
exactly that.
done. But
Exactly that.
have a good one.
Right, I'm off to the
You have a
pub.
good
See you
one.
later.